Hello and welcome to today's cooking. What are we doing? We're doing a review. So let's see what we're going to do and what we're going to review. So let's get started. Right, okay. We have went to a very expensive store. We went to Sainsbury's and we have bought this item. Yep, you can't see it. I will turn it around and you can have a good look at it. But this is a very expensive meal and it's been reduced. So let's see how it's made up and is it really worth the expensive price that it has? It's not a little amount. So you'll see the price on the ticket when I turn you round. So we're gonna do it right now. We have slow cooked beef stroganoff with cream and brandy sauce, which comes in its own little bag. That is quite a weight in there. It's meant to serve two. It has 35 minutes in the oven, 11 minutes in the microwave, so you would go for microwave. Serves two, but it's only 530 grams. So let's see if we can get a good enough image of here. So you can just read through cooking. And of course, if you're going to put the pouch into the microwave, you'll have to put some holes in it. Also put it onto a dish, so if any of the juices or any gravy comes out of the bag, you'll still be able to use it. So yep, it's only going down to a 700 watt, so make allowances if you've got a 1000 watt, that you won't need to cook it as long. So this is the calories and everything. Look at the red on the salt. So the beef is 57%, there we go. And the sauce is 29%. Wow. 29 times 5 times 3. Well, that's almost 30. 530 is 150. You know, I can wait. But there's well over 150 grams of sauce. That. And that's not everything. We have 9% mushrooms, 9 times 5, 45 grams of mushrooms. Eight of onions, 8 times 5. That's how much onions is in. So, yep, this was meant to be £7.50. Yep, it's still a big price. It's not something I would normally get, but that's how it's supposed to look. I'm expecting really big chunks of meat, but we're not getting any of the rice or the broccoli to go with it. So this is what the bag looks like with the meat in. It isn't all that big when you look at it. There's a lot of liquid within it. But the bits do feel quite large in it, which it should be for the massive amount. So what I'll do is, I'm not going to microwave it or cook it. I'm doing some potatoes to go with it because we have no veg and therefore I will be just eating this and the sauce. Doesn't make that much sense to do that. So yeah, it's 530 grams by the time you minus the sauce off, because you know it's only sauce come off it, you know, it's not like. So with one hand I get out my enormous scales, and let's see what it comes to. Well, it does go a long way down. Yeah, it's about 145 grams. So that would leave, you know, under 400 grams with meat and the mushrooms and the onion. So we haven't got a big amount. I haven't had brandy sauce before. I have no idea whether I'm going to like it or not. So as I said, I'm going to put mine into the pressure cooker bit, because that will steam it in the same way as you're putting it in water and boiling it, which is what many, my lid go, which is what many of the restaurants do to cook meals. My lid's gone. Find my lid. So I've put it on for 18 minutes because it's steamed. It should keep the temperature in, and that should cook it faster. So yeah, the amount of meat. So we have 57% meat. Well, that's at least 50 would be 250, 265. So maybe about 300 grams of meat. It's not all that much when you're looking at a £7 price tag. So it would denote that a kilogram of beef is about £21 if you were running on the whole lot being just the price of the meat. So yeah, not that, but then it isn't that, it's actually more, because by the time you take off the mushrooms and the thingy and you come down with the weight of the meat, you know, it's getting expensive. Yeah, so we have that on. We'll see what it's like when it's finished. So all I have is some potatoes to go with it. I don't know if I have a tin of carrots. I'll have a look, because I can always make it go 2 days. But yeah, this is quite an expensive meal for me. I wouldn't normally spend £2 on it, but I've never had it, and I thought maybe you would like to see what it's like. Without the sauce, just getting some beef and putting it together, you know. The thing comes is that it is making the cream and brandy sauce. So we're going to be using double cream and some brandy sauce, which may or may not have brandy in it, or just the flavouring of brandy. So we'll see what happens when it comes out. You can have a look at it and see what you think of how it looks. We'll have a look and see how it tastes. I wouldn't be paying £7.50 for it. It is far too much, and for 2 people you're not looking at a lot of meat, so you're going to have to get something else to go with it, so therefore you're taking the price up of what the meal's going to be. So with that, see you in a moment. Okay, we are back, and we have the beef on the plate. I have all the meat on the plate. I have the liquid that was in the meat, and I've added a spoon of gravy into it. It hasn't thickened it up, but it's just to give it a bit more. And I haven't put the sauce on because I don't know if I like it, so I have that, and I'll taste that as well. So we turn. This is all the meat. The onion, the mushroom, I did some potatoes with it. So we have the sauce, which is in here. So I'll see if I like that before I put it on. As I said, I have put 1 small spoon of gravy granules into it because the gravy did, this bit of gravy did look quite nice with the meat that it's been soaking in. Okay, so we are ready to give it a go. This is the meat. Let's see how tender and melt. That one has a little bit of fat on it. There's a bit of the onion. So yeah, as I said, I put it into the pressure cooker. It had 18 minutes, which means that it steamed it rather than needing to dry it out. If I put it in the microwave, it would steam, and that's why I would need the holes in it. So therefore, there would be less liquid left in it. If you did it in the oven, I don't see the point of putting it in the oven. For what it is, you could physically put it into a pan. So, a bit of my potato. I could have mashed the potato up, added some peas and carrots, but I didn't do that. So let's give this sauce a bit of a taste. Now, this is cream and brandy. It is pretty thick. Actually smells more like a mushroom in it. But since this is a third bit I'm putting in, obviously I don't mind it. Yep, it doesn't have any funny aftertaste. So since this is all for going on here, I'll put it on and we'll mix it in. But really, is the sauce really needed? Surely you would just like to have some beef and make some gravy rather than doing some fancy creamy sauce. So we'll mix it in. Try and give it a good mix up. So now you can have a look at it. So there you are with the sauce on it. And as I said, I have some gravy bit. It's come from the juices of the meat. So I'm not going to use much of it because I think I will keep some of this gravy and just flavour some other meat item I'm having. So I am going to eat this up, but really for £7 odd, I think it would be much better just getting some steak and just mixing and doing it with gravy and that lot. You're paying for the really expensive sauce that comes with it. And does it really fill you, the sauce? It gives you a tiny little difference in taste, but is it worth the money? The money is technically more in the sauce than it is in the meat, because I'm sure you can get some decent beef and cook the amount that is here for well under half the price. So therefore the sauce is really an expensive item that it isn't filling. The sauce isn't filling. It's only there for colour and a slight bit of taste. So I'm going to eat my tea, and I will see you on the next episode. Put your comments down below. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.